Dear students, in the previous classes we have learned preparation of soil, sowing, etc. In today's class we are going to learn about irrigation, methods of irrigation, protection from weeds, harvesting and storage. Okay students, have you ever grown a plant? Yes, for a plant to grow, it needs sunlight, soil, air. What else does a plant need to grow? Yes, the answer is water. At home, we are supplying water to plant with the help of pipe or watering can, but it will take too long to water the field. Just you think, how can the field be watered faster? Children, we can use different methods of irrigations to water the field faster and in a more efficient way. Okay, now we will understand irrigation with example. Irrigation means supplying water to the crops in the fields at specific intervals. Water is important for crops as germination of seeds does not take place without water. Roots fail to develop and elongate in dry soil. It protects plants from frost and hot air currents. Germination is the process by which a seedling grows or germinates out of a seed. All seeds and plants need water. Where does this water come from? Water for plants comes from different sources like wells, lakes, ponds, rivers and dams, canals, etc. Methods of irrigation. Look at these pictures. Have you ever seen all these pictures? Yes, this is the traditional methods of irrigations. Dekli, chain pump, moat, rahat, moat system. By looking these pictures, what we can understand that water is taken out of that well manually with the help of a pulley and it is used to irrigate the field. Rath or lever systems. Water is drawn out of wells by animals like cow, buffalo, oxen. Animals move and rotate the wheels to draw the water from the well. Next, we will talk about modern methods of irrigation. There are two types in irrigation. First one is drip irrigation and second method is sprinkler irrigation. Sprinkler system. This consists of perpendicular pipes which have rotating nozzles on top. When switched on, water sprinkles evenly on all the crops. In this system, the water falls drop by drop just at the position of the roots. So, it is called drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. The system provides water to plants drop by drop. Water is not wasted at all. It is a boon in regions where availability of water is poor. Okay students, now you all understood that which method is the best and most effective methods of irrigations. Next we will move on to the another practices of crop production, that is protecting from weeds. Students, look at your surroundings. In our surroundings there are many plants and trees. Do you notice that any other plants in the field? Yes. You must have observed that there are some other plants growing along with the useful plants. Have these other plants been planted purposefully? No, these plants may grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. These undesirable plants are called weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. Weeding is necessary since weeds compete with the crop plants for water, nutrients, space and light. Thus, they affect the growth of the crop. Some weeds interfere even in harvesting and may be poisonous for animals and human beings and seeds. The manual removal includes physical removal of weeds by uprooting or cutting them close to the ground. From time to time, this is done with the help of a kurpi. A seed drill is also used to uproot weeds. Weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides, like 2 to 4 distance. These are spread in fields to kill the weeds. They too damage the crops. The weedicides diluted with water to the extent required and sprayed in the fields with a sprayer. Why do we think they should be removed? Because they compete with the crops plants for water, nutrients, space and light. They do not allow the cultivated plants to grow properly. What method should we use to remove the weeds? Weeds can be removed manually by uprooting them with the help of a tool such as kurpi or a sickle. Otherwise, using chemicals such as weedicides. It is not good to use because they can be harmful to the health of farmers. If farmers use chemicals, they should cover their nose and mouth. Next one is harvesting. The process of cutting and gathering of crops is called harvesting. For example, for rabi crops like wheat, harvesting is done March or April. In case of paddy, that means kharif crops, harvesting is done in the month of September or October. In harvesting, crops are cut close to the ground. In India, it is done either manually with a sickle or by a machine is called harvester, which is attached to a tractor. It saves a lot of time and labor. Once the crops is harvested, the grain needs to be separated from the chaff. Chaff means the husk or outer covering of grains. Sometimes we may observe that some rice with husk. The process is called threshing. Threshing can be done manually or by using a machine. It is the process of knocking out the grain from the crop using physical force. The grain can also be separated from the chaff using the process is called winnowing, where air separates the chaff from grain. Winnowing can be done manually or by using a machine. All these terms you have heard in your lower classes. Okay, next step is storage. Storage of produce is an important task. If the crop grains are to be kept for longer time, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms. The fresh crop has more moisture. If freshly harvested grains, that means seeds, are stored without drying, they may get spoiled or attacked by organisms, losing their germination capacity. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack by insect, pest, bacteria and fungi. Farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bins. However, large-scale storage of grains is done in silos and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. Dried neem leaves are used for storing food grains at home. For storing large quantities of grains in big godowns, specific chemical treatments are required to protect them from pests and microorganisms. Let us talk about food from animals. Animals also provide us with different kinds of food. Many people living in the coastal areas consume fish as a major part of their diet. Food is obtained from plants. We have just seen that the process of crop production involves a number of steps like selection of seeds, sowing, etc. Similarly, animals reared at home or in farms have to be provided with the proper food, shelter and care. When this is done on a large scale, it is called animal husbandry. Okay students, I think you all understood this today's concept. Thank you.